So, on the subject of intuition and psychic abilities and these gifts that we all have, something that I have realized is that we are all more connected, we are all more intuitive, we are all so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for. And I've realized this in these different groups that I've been a part of, where we are practicing different things, whether we're kind of thrown into a group and we're practicing, which I think is another thing that the world is really missing. These groups, like coming together with people to practice our skills and our abilities. We used to have covens, we used to have groups of women coming together. We used to have these like study, practice, like think groups where you could come together and you could practice your skills and your abilities. And so by constantly putting myself into different groups, I am realizing through these groups that, again, that we are all more intuitive than we give ourselves credit for. Because, okay, for example, in these groups, maybe we're practicing things that we've never done before. If you want to practice your psychic abilities, you want to strengthen your intuitive muscle, that is all that it is. It is just practicing repetition over and over and over and learning to develop that trust within yourself. And so in these groups where maybe for the first time I'm reading for somebody that's passed, we were just given a photo and asked to just share what comes through. Like no guidance, no structure really, other than just share what comes through to you in whatever way that it comes through. It's maybe it's a photo, maybe it's just a person's name. Maybe we had flashcards and you had to see in your mind's eye what was on the other side of that flashcard. Maybe it's a circle, maybe it's a square, maybe it's a triangle. It's like strengthening this muscle that we all have. And so in these groups, you see, myself included, like we all go into the group thinking that we can't do it, or we've never done it before, or how are we going to get this information? Where is it going to come from? What's it going to look like? Is it going to be a voice that we hear in our head? Are we going to see a visual? Are we going to feel something in our body? Like the mind fucking takes over and is just like wants to know how it's going to be done. And so I feel that these groups were so powerful because seeing everybody come in thinking that they couldn't do it, but then leaving like everybody got something. Everybody got some kind of message. They got some kind of information that connected them with, who they were reading for. Maybe some people could hear the information. Some people could feel it physically in their body. Maybe some people are seeing an image in their mind's eye. It doesn't really matter the way that it comes through. That's unique to you and your own journey to discover and to play with. But it just blows my mind, and this is just the world in general. Like we go through the world thinking that we're not capable or we don't have these abilities or we're taught not to trust it, right? We're taught from a very young age, generally in this society here, that, our intuition is invalid, that facts and, and logic and these things take precedent over these internal knowing, an internal feeling, or an internal seeing, or maybe it's just even listening to the messages in your dreams, This is like ancient knowledge that we've always been connected to. It goes so deep, like this just goes so deep, and them trying to remove this knowledge from us, removing this access, especially women, that we have like this direct connection to the divine, to our higher self, to our intuition, and to just knowing, sensing, again, in whatever clair is strongest for you. I feel that we all have different psychic abilities. We have an intuition. We all have an intuition that we can strengthen and work with. But it's like really needing to take the time to do that. And when we're constantly distracting ourselves, like on our phone or doing like constant distractions when we're just bored or we're just sitting somewhere, it's like we don't have as much idle time to just be with ourselves. And that's a lot of the time when the information comes through, it's when you're going on a walk in nature, or you're taking a shower, or you're washing the dishes, or you're doing these things where you're out of your conscious mind and you're allowing your intuition to come through more clearly. So it's just taking the time to practice and to play with these things and not putting so much pressure on ourselves to be amazing at it off the bat, or to just I don't know, we think in order to have psychic abilities or to be clairvoyant, for example, that we need to see this super clear picture of what is going on. Like maybe we're getting this information through movies and seeing, bullshit that's not real, but it's like the picture might not be so clear. It might just be this like fuzzy image that you have to kind of decipher and put the pieces together. But it's just allowing yourself that idle time to play with what comes through. And I think a lot of the time too, we're like expecting it to be some huge big message that's going to like completely change your life. It's like, and that's not always how it goes. Maybe eventually our intuition can speak to us in that way, but at first it's like just developing trust within yourself and listening to the subtleties. Like maybe it's something very, very small, seemingly small, like go to this restaurant today or go into this store, and maybe you meet somebody that changes the trajectory of your day or possibly of your life. But it's like getting the little message. I say hearing because I hear things a lot. Clairaudient is one of the stronger ones for me. So a lot of times I'll hear messages or I'll hear things that I need to do, or, from my higher self. And it's just listening to that, actually doing something with it. I think that we all have this experience where we get information and then we push it away, and like we just don't honor it and we don't trust it and we don't live by that. And I feel the closer that we can live in connection with that, in connection to these messages that come through in whatever way you're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're feeling it in your body, however the information presents itself to you, from the smallest, seemingly small things to the biggest things of like maybe moving across the world and flipping your life upside down. But it's like just honoring the messages when they come through, and you develop trust within yourself when you don't push them away and you don't tell your higher self like, no, later, maybe, I don't know, how am I going to do it, or what's it going to look like, or you get all like in the head and get too heady with the information. It's just needing to drop into the body, into to collect what's coming through, to hear the messages, see the messages, whatever, and then to live by that. And again, I feel the closer that we can live in alignment with that, that is us building our intuition, strengthening that muscle over time. That is us like moving in our highest path, the highest trajectory, because it is our oversoul. It is our higher self. It is God's source energy flowing through us when we are moving from that state. So it doesn't like, it's a journey. It's a practice that we move throughout our whole lifetime. It's not like a quick fix to become incredibly sensitive and feeling all the things around you and knowing everything that's going on. It's like developing the trust within yourself, slowing down enough to be able to hear it, to honor it, giving yourself enough like idle time to digest it and to integrate it into your body and to actually do something with it. So yes, the moral of the story is just that it just really blows me away how we're all so much more connected and intuitive and knowing than we give ourselves credit for. But it's so easy to just give the power away, right? It's so easy to say, well, I don't know that answer, or somebody else knows more than me, or they can, solve my problems, or let's just give it to them and let them deal with it, or let them fix it, or tell me what to do. It's like the deeper issue just in general in the world is like needing to take our power back and trusting ourselves, trusting our bodies, trusting the intuition, trusting the magic within ourselves, that we have the answers, that we can go to people and we can get guidance. Obviously, this is my fucking career, my job that I want to do for my whole life is like reading for people and connecting, helping people remember that they already have the answers within them. It's not like them needing to depend on me for their whole life, but it's like putting the magic, putting the power back into the people's hands, understanding that they can develop this within themselves and that they can move through their life, trusting their intuition and moving from that space.